I'm Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update tonight. Now, the first thing that I want to address is something apparently I missed on my last video. I've received a barrage of emails, posts, comments, all the rest of it from people saying, listen, you talked about a template letter that we can start the process of receiving compensation from the government for the losses that we've suffered due to the restrictions and the closures and all the rest of it, but you forgot to tell us where it is. Okay, so yes, we have uploaded it and you'll find it on our vaccinations page. So that's just knowyourrightsgroup.com.au/vaccinations, and then go to the lockdowns are unlawful section and you'll find it there on the last paragraph. You'll also see that we've split that up and we've got a new sub-paragraph under that same page in regards to masks and mandatory mask directives, some of the challenges with wearing masks, some of the health issues with wearing masks, and we've uploaded some new articles to that section as well. So please, if you haven't yet looked, or if you're new to this channel, welcome, and please make sure you do check out our vaccinations page on the Know Your Rights Group website. All right, so that being said, the big news of the moment is quite obviously what is currently unfolding in the US with the US election. Now, it really doesn't matter who you are going for, who you want to win. I think that everybody watching this would agree that when there are more votes showing up in a particular state than there are registered voters, clearly something fishy is going on. Now again, if you're a Biden supporter and you want Biden to win, surely you'd want him to win honestly and legitimately, okay? Not through some potential ballot or voting fraud. And equally, if you're a Trump supporter, you would want to ensure that he was given the opportunity to win legitimately as well and not have anything else going on behind the scenes. So this is something that really obviously needs to be looked into, and this is something that hopefully is going to be decided at some point in the not too distant future. It is, of course, not going to happen straight away. Now, I've received, again, a ton of emails, posts, comments, messages from people, that are holding out or holding off on doing things until Trump wins because they believe that all these things are going to magically change and wonderful things are going to happen. Okay, now I hate to burst your bubble, and it's, look, of course, only my personal belief, but I can't see that happening. After all, Trump's been in there for 4 years, and yes, there has been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, no doubt, okay? But what has really changed for the average person out there in the real world, okay? So don't be holding off. Now, look, I wholeheartedly believe, okay, that if Biden gets in, okay, he's going to be very quickly replaced with Kamala Harris. She's going to quickly fall into line. She's going to be the new head puppet for the elite. And yeah, we are absolutely all screwed. Okay, they have always had the intention of putting in the first female president. Okay, they failed miserably with Hillary. Okay, they knew people wouldn't vote for her if they tried it again this time, so they're going to bring it in sort of under the radar by default. Okay, but having said that, things are clearly not going to be straightforward either way with the results of the US election, even once a winner is ultimately decided. Okay, there's still going to be some time before things start to happen. Now, I know, look, there's a lot of QAnon supporters out there watching this. A lot of people who, trust the plan, okay, in this group. And that's great, that's brilliant. I'm all for that. I follow those ideas too. But it's my strongest recommendation to everybody, okay, right now, as in with any period of time, as in with respect to any particular decisions that you make in life, don't ever rely on someone else or something else or some other event, okay, to fix everything and fix all the problems, okay? You need to be vigilant, you need to be proactive, which is something I say in all these videos, and you need to look after yourselves. Okay, absolutely, be positive, keep your energy high, think positive thoughts, pray, do all those sorts of things. But also, have your feet firmly planted in the real world. Be realistic and take charge of your own lives. If you want to follow certain ideologies and plans and all the rest of it, fantastic, by all means. But still make sure you are taking positive, proactive, congruent action for yourselves. Okay? Yes, absolutely. I genuinely believe that there's going to be a lot of new opportunities if Trump is re-elected. Okay? I also believe there's going to be a lot of problems if Biden wins. Okay? And either way, whatever happens in the US will ultimately flow across to Australia as well. Okay? But that's all going to happen at some point. Right now, right here in Australia, we have our own unique set of issues and problems that we as Aussies need to band together and collectively address. Now, the biggest issue, of course, for right now is the news that came out today that our illustrious leader, ScoMo, and the Health Minister, Greg Hunt, are now renewing their push for all Aussies to be vaccinated by the year 2021. Okay? That is only a few months away. Okay? Now, please keep in mind, all right, the flu vaccine has been around for decades, and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people still die from the flu each and every year. Okay? In fact, there are still fewer COVID-related deaths, okay, and that's people dying, with COVID, not just, dying of COVID, then there are, okay, and that's with no vaccine, then there are from the flu each year, which we already have a vaccine for, okay? Now, of course, that's except for this year, because, of course, COVID-19 has magically cured the flu, and there doesn't seem to have been any flu deaths this year, which kind of makes me wonder, why would they want to vaccinate against COVID-19 when it's so effective at curing other diseases? I would think they want to keep it on. It's been such a wonderful thing for people who might have otherwise got the flu and died. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. But look, let's not also forget, okay, that there are currently almost essentially 0 cases of COVID-19 in essence around the country at the moment. So even if you were unlucky enough to get it, you would still have a 99% chance of surviving. So what exactly are they trying to vaccinate us from exactly? Okay, why are they so desperate to force people to get vaccinated? Now, this is the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing out. I'm just going to read the key points. Again, as always, you can look this up for yourselves online. Just do a search for the title, which is Encouraging Date That All Aussies Will Be Vaccinated By. I mean, look at this ridiculous media spin. Encouraging date, all Aussies will be vaccinated by. Insane. For opening line, manufacturing of the first coronavirus vaccine for Australians will start in Melbourne next week. The manufacturing of the vaccine is going to start next week. Okay? If this doesn't, concern you, I really don't know what will. Prime Minister Scott Morrison revealed the significant step by AstraZeneca and CSL as he announced 2 more, not just 2 more vaccine agreements, taking Australia's deal total to 4. Okay? It goes on to say the goal and expectation is that Australians who sought vaccination will be vaccinated within 2021, Health Minister Greg Hunt has said. Okay? So this should be of great concern to everybody. Okay? Now, I urge you, okay? I urge you all, okay? Please, if you have not yet done so, get a copy of our ebook, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights, okay? Turn to page 73. That is bonus chapter 1. That is the mandatory vaccinations page. And that has that My Will letter that you can send. Okay, it's already written. You just edited it slightly. It's drafted specifically to address the no jab, no pay legislation. But it can be very easily amended and edited to suit whatever proposed vaccination bill that you can bet your bottom dollar is coming very, very soon. Okay? Now they will state, but it's not mandatory, and ScoMo's already said that it's not mandatory. Okay, well, if you believe that, okay, I've got some really good bridges to sell you. Because no, it might not be mandatory as such, but they're going to use anything and everything at their disposal to force, coerce, cajole, whatever you want to call it, into getting vaccinated. Okay, they're going to say that your children can't go to school. People won't be able to seek medical treatment. There'll be travel restrictions. There'll be restrictions on receiving your government benefits. and a whole raft of other things that they won't say are mandatory, but of course, if you require any of those services for whatever reason, essentially that does make it mandatory for you. Now, again, I want to remind everybody, that concept has already been proven to be unlawful. Okay, it's already been ruled on by the courts, okay, in the British Medical Association case by Chief Justice Latham. He's explained all that. He's explained why they cannot lawfully do that. And again, all of that's detailed, again, in that bonus chapter 1, mandatory vaccinations chapter of our ebook. If you don't have this book yet, please grab a copy right now. There's links in the description to this video and you can get that. It is so important, okay, that people get onto this and spread this around far and wide. If any of you are part of any anti-vax social media groups or whatever, please make sure we get this message out there, okay? Don't leave it until it's too late, all right? Now, I was saying to our web guy just today, okay, even what, all the COVID nonsense seems to be, slowly but surely starting to die down and people are returning to some weird and twisted version of normal, okay, the problem is that all of the other issues, okay, that we've all been so severely distracted from for the last 6 months, the very same issues that we've been trying to tell people about for the last 6.5 years, are all still there. Okay, local councils are still acting unlawfully as de facto third tiers of government, which they're not allowed to do. They're hiking up rates exponentially each and every year. Banks are still committing the same fraud every time they engage in a home loan. Right? State governments are still collectively raking in $2 billion, that's a B, okay, each and every year from unjust and unlawful fines. Okay, we're still being subjected to private law pursuant to the Unidroit Treaty, okay, that we were unlawfully signed up to, that most people have never heard of. Okay, all this stuff is covered, again, in the Know Your Rights book. All the fine stuff is covered in the Aussie speeding fines book, and all the banking stuff, of course, is covered in the bank secrets book. Okay, so please make sure you grab onto those. But most importantly, what I want to make sure people do is don't leave things until the last minute. Okay? This has been a huge problem. Okay? People left it far too late. Okay? Far too late to protest, and Melbourne especially ended up being locked down for the longest period of time and in the harshest possible way than anywhere else in the world. Okay, people left it too late to challenge the curfews. Okay, and recently, as I'm sure a lot of you heard, the Supreme Court has now ruled that no, we're going to dismiss the case on the curfews, the only one case that was ever brought before the courts. Okay, people left it too late to raise a court case in regards to the freedom of movement, which, yes, is being heard before the High Court tomorrow, but given what's happened recently, okay, is probably going to just be dismissed yet again. And you know what? Daniel Andrews will come out on Sunday and he'll lift all the restrictions, and most people will just forget about it all in a few months anyway. Okay, we can't let that happen. Do not make the same mistake again. Okay, this mandatory vaccination push is something that affects every single one of us. So again, please grab that Know Your Rights book, go to that bonus chapter 1, okay, and send off that My Will letter. Let's start bombarding them now before there are any bills introduced. Let's send a loud and clear message right now before anything happens that we, the people of Australia, okay, the supreme, absolute, uncontrollable authority in this country, we say no to any mandatory, forced, coerced vaccinations whatsoever. Okay? Please make sure we do that. Now, again, I want to remind you, okay, all this other stuff, as I said, is still going on in the background. So grab those books. Okay, if you don't have one of the books, just look at the links in the description, grab the book you're missing. If you don't have any of the books at all, okay, again, there's a link in the description. You can go to our ebook page, Okay, you can get the combo, all 3 books together at a discounted price. Don't forget, you do get our wonderful Know Your Rights tote bag as well, which a lot of people are wandering around the streets and the shops with and spreading the message, which is fantastic. So, I want to finish off, again, tonight's video by helping keep people, keep things in perspective for people, because things have gotten way out of whack again. So I want to share just quickly a couple of posts with people, and I think these are really powerful. So this one says, anyone out there who can tell me what our end game is with COVID-19? What is the magic formula that's going to allow us to sound the all clear? Is it 0 cases? The only way that will happen is if we just stop testing and stop reporting. Is it a vaccine? It took 25 years for a chickenpox vaccine to be developed. The smallpox inoculation was discovered in 1796. The last known natural case was in 1977. We have a flu vaccine that's only 40 to 60% effective, and less than half of the US population choose to get one, and roughly 20,000 Americans will die of the flu or flu complications. Oh, you'll mandate it, like other vaccines are mandated, in order to attend school, travel to some foreign countries, etc., etc. Just what I was saying. We already have a growing number of anti-vaxxers refusing proven, tested, well-known vaccines that have been administered for decades but aren't necessarily safe. Do you really think people will flock to get a fast-track, quickly tested vaccine whose long-term side effects and overall efficacy are anyone's best guess? How long are we going to cancel and postpone and reconsider? You aren't doing in-person school until second quarter. What if October's numbers are the same as August's? You move football to spring. What if March is worse than this one? When do we decide quality of life outweighs the risks? I understand COVID can be deadly or very dangerous for some people, but so are strawberries, and so is shellfish. We take risk multiple times a day without a second thought. We know driving a car can be dangerous. We don't just leave it in the garage. Many speed and those others don't wear seatbelts. We know the dangers of smoking, drinking and eating fried foods, but we do it anyway. Is hugging grandma really more dangerous than rush hour on the freeway? Is going out with friends after work more risky than 4-day-old petrol station sushi? Or operating a chainsaw? When and how did we so quickly lose our free will and give up our liberty? Is there a waiver somewhere that I can sign that says, I understand the risks, but I choose a life with hugs and smiles and the state fair and to go to church and hug my mum in her retirement home? I understand that there is a minuscule possibility I could die, but I will most likely end up feeling like crap for a few days. That's it. I understand I could possibly pass it on to someone else if I'm not careful, but I can pass any virus on to someone else. I'm struggling to see where or how this ends. We either get busy living or we get busy dying. When God decides it's your time, you don't get any mulligans. So I guess I would rather spend my time enjoying it and living in the moment and not worrying about ifs and maybes. And I bet I'm not the only one. Pretty powerful words, I think. Now, I want to share one more with you, but I'm going to give you a condition here. Please, if there's any young children watching, please move them aside for a moment, just for 2 moments. We don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So, yes, seriously, if there's any young kids watching this, just pop them aside, block their ears, because I want to show you this. Because there's been so much talk about what's going on with the US election and the possible potential voter fraud. There's been so many people saying that COVID-19 is a hoax and it's not real and all the rest of it. And this very simple meme, I think, covers it very, very clearly. So again, please make sure all young kids are away. And this is what it says. Dad, is Santa Claus a hoax? Of course not, son. Think how many people would have to be in on it. Really spells it out clearly, doesn't it? Okay? Just think how many people would have to be in on it. And yet, is that not perhaps exactly what's going on? So I'm going to leave you with those to think about. And if you agree that things just don't add up, okay, if you want to do something about it, then as I mentioned before, there's a wealth of information in that Know Your Rights book. There's tons of info in that Aussie speeding fines book, and of course in the bank secrets book as well. Please grab these books if you don't have them already. Look at the links in the description to the video, and please share this around far and wide, because we really need to stand up and do something about this now. So I'm going to leave it there. I look forward to speaking to you all on Sunday night, when I can hopefully report that Dan Andrews has finally come to his senses, lifted all of the restrictions here in Melbourne, and we can all get back to a little more sense of normal. So as always, get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. Have a great weekend.